which again, the music is changed up, slightly remixed, and this is by far my favorite of all the remixes. Like the whole score for this movie, the soundtrack, it's one of the really few really good things about this movie. There's even a pretty awesome rock remix of that whole the stalker thing kicks in at the end when Michael just goes crazy. Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers. Halloween 6. Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers. Halloween, The Origin of Michael Myers. So many titles, so many rewrites, so much bullshit behind the scenes. What we got though? What's this? Halloween, Curse of Michael Myers. And this one is not good, but it's not entirely on the movie's fault. Director Joe Chappelle, who was the guy they eventually settled on, they had so many different directors and writers. They settled on Joe Chappelle, and he made some of the worst changes. From reducing Loomis's role because he thought Donald Pleasence was boring. You know, there was a weird edit in this movie. Like, it's incomplete. But I took down some things of note I should talk about. So before I watched this, I watched the trailer, and it pretty heavily implied this was the last one. It kept saying a final confrontation with Michael Myers. So how many times they try to end this franchise? That's 2 I count already. No, yeah, there's still one more. The first thing you see when you put it on is Donald Pleasence. He gets top billing despite, like I said earlier, not really being in it. Which is a real crime. You have Donald Pleasence. It's Dr. Loomis, you use him, man. This was Donald Pleasence's last role. His last role and his last appearance as Loomis. Because unfortunately, he died during the production of this movie. More on that later, though. So Jamie Lloyd got recast because Danielle Harris wasn't treated right when they contacted her or something. There's an interview on the producer's cut with her. She explains the whole thing. So Dr. Wynn is back in. Oh boy. He's also a killer for some reason in this, and he wants the lead kid, Danny, to kill for Michael. Which is, apparently it's Dr. Wynn, who's Michael's been hearing in his head all this time to make him kill. One of the weird things the director did for this movie. Then again, the last one set up some pretty crazy stuff. So basically, this follows Tommy Doyle, of all people, from the first movie. And he listened to the radio while he's, in the black magic. Finds out Michael Myers is back. And he tries to tell everybody, eventually finds Loomis, who believes him, of course. And they're trying to stop Michael again. All this because the Strodes have moved into the Myers home with the history that Laurie Strode had there. And why would they move back? I would explain why, because his stepfather is a total dick, that's why. Or the father, I guess. That was a very satisfying kill. So, like Tina in the previous one, a lot of people didn't like her. She was still moving in her last scene, so she didn't get killed. This guy, he got killed. So Tommy Doyle, as I said, is back, and he's been recast too. Paul Rudd is Tommy Doyle. Ant-Man is Tommy Doyle. I have an Ant-Man shirt, but sticking with the Halloween one. And he gives no fucks in this movie, not one. I mean, he gives slightly more of a fuck than Tom Atkins in Halloween 3, but still, there's no fucks in this. Also another return, George P. Wilbur. He's Michael again. And a different mask, a better mask made a world of difference. The mask is much better this time around. That combined with what George P. Wilbur can do as Michael created a really good Michael. Which is another one of the few things in this movie that's really good. He doesn't look awkward like he did in part 4 as Michael. It's actually quite intimidating. Because it's all about Michael's rage, which all this has been about. This is where it culminates and Michael goes off. My favorite kill is the one where he's stabbing a girl in the bedroom. And it goes in slow motion and you can see this how he's just getting in there. At the end he goes off and he kills everybody almost. Like Michael is full and pissed off in this one. And it's awesome. And I absolutely take George P. Wilbur seriously now as Michael. So Dr. Loomis, who's just barely in this, when we see him, he states that he's retired and he's got his skin grafted, which is why he doesn't have the scars anymore. And he's only retired for a half second before somebody says Michael Myers, and well, you know the rest. You know what happens. Now, in this version of the movie, Jamie Lloyd is in there for only a few minutes before she's killed at the beginning, pretty brutally by Michael. That changes in the producer's cut. A lot of changes are in that one. But we'll get to that one tomorrow. The stupid Thorne stuff. Ugh. And that's in full effect in this movie. You see the Thorne all over the place. You saw the Thorne tattoo, I think, briefly in part 5. It's all the tattoos in here, the Thorns in here, the stupid cult, all that nonsense. I don't know what it was trying to do. And since when does Michael leave Thorns after he kills somebody? He doesn't. What was that? Because when they found Jamie Lloyd, Dr. Loomis is like, when they found Jamie Lloyd, somebody was like, what is that? And you see the Thorn, and Dr. Loomis is like, that's his sign. He's back. Like, since when? As I said, Michael apparently kills because he hears Dr. Wynn's voice in his head. It's a whole thing where it's revealed some random woman who's Paul Rudd staying with, an elderly woman, puts in on it because he used to babysit Michael. Some bullshit. I don't know. There are some interesting references in this movie. Like, up until now, there weren't really any pop culture references, I don't think. You saw the kid Danny playing with the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger action figure of the Red Ranger, and then, really weirdly, there's a picture of Divine on Tommy Doyle's refrigerator. I mean, I like Divine, but I don't have him on my refrigerator, man. I like what you like, though. It's interesting, right? Divine in a Michael Myers movie. He's supposed to be in Nightmare on Elm Street. Oh, Freddy's Dead. But unfortunately, Divine didn't survive enough to film his scenes. This is like a tribute to him or something? As I said, most of that ending is freaking awesome. The music, Michael going off and killing everyone and everything. He doesn't care. Part of the code, the medical staff, he doesn't care. It's all great until the very last couple of minutes, where Paul Rudd and the Strode hero girl, final girl, and Danny, who's the daughter of the Strode girl, they're about to leave. They're like, Loomis, come with us. He's like, no, I got unfinished business. Goes back in the building, and you just hear Donald Pleasant screaming, "No, no, no," and that's pretty much it. And then they like pan over, like cut to Michael's mask on the ground with a needle, and you still hear the screaming. And then it says, "In memory of Donald Pleasant." I'm like, so that's more of that weird editing that's in this thing. But it is fixed in the producer's cut. So I ain't talking much about Loomis because he's not really in this. I didn't have a Loomis quote because, again, he's not much in here. By the time he starts to do one, he's cut off. But that's changed in the producer's cut. That's all my notes now. Up until a few years ago, the only way to watch the producer's cut was one or two ways. You could find it on YouTube if you looked hard enough, or if you were lucky enough, AMC would sneak and play it and call it Halloween 6. But now we have the producer's cut. And we'll get into that one tomorrow. It's like almost a whole different movie. So many changes in that one. Even, I'll get into it tomorrow. I can't really grade this movie because it's not complete. It's a composite of all those random ideas I had behind the scenes. And it's actually a third version of the movie, the director's cut. And that one's never seen a light of day. You could always find a producer's cut if you looked hard enough on the internet. Nobody's seen the director's cut. That one's put up somewhere. I wonder what's in that one. So, yep, that's it.